The thing is, you just have to believe in the fact that positive forces, just positive vibes in general, are going to come your direction if you also believe that you are a positive person and you're putting off positive vibes as well. It's just that's how it's going to go. But I actually made a list. Yesterday, I made a list on my notes app of the few things that have come true and happened because I believe the fact that I have been manifesting things, they have happened. So it's nothing crazy, but it is really cool to believe that you're in charge of the success that you want. I just don't understand. No matter how far you go in a hookup culture style relationship, I just don't get how you don't catch feelings for that person. It's never made sense to me, and I've never involved myself in it. I want to walk outside if I want to avoid work and I need to get my mind off of something. I will for sure take a walk outside because getting my steps in is also something that's kind of important. Depending on how important the work is, I will tell myself that I don't have to do it because I believe that taking care of your mental health is more important than forcing yourself to be productive because that's just going to lead to burnout. Bad boys are hot and girls like hot guys, or most girls like hot guys. So they're attracted to the looks, but I don't think it's the personality because I feel like bad boys usually aren't the nicest, but they have the looks. So that's what the girls go for. So I've never been into that, but I get how people are attracted to it.
Hello, guys. Here is the part 2 of our podcast with Jamie Rache. The link for part 1 is given in the description below. Jamie Rache is a carefree, blissfully spirited girl who has great levels of emotional quotient. After talking to her, I opine that she is really cool and awesome. Today, in this episode, she talks about law of attraction, relationships, and its complications. So without further ado, let's go.
I'm good. Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How's your function first of all?
So I would have told you more details afterwards, but pretty much my family and I, so I live with my mom and dad right now since college is kind of not a thing at the moment. So we were going to go meet up with not both, just one of my brothers who lives in Philly, but we were going to meet him and his girlfriend at this um beach, I guess, somewhere where it was convenient, but I don't really know. But then it ended up raining from like 6 to the rest of the night pretty much, and I didn't want to bother you and say that I was actually free when I told you I wasn't. So I kind of just had a chill night because we didn't end up
So,
going to the beach.
so how much do you believe in law of attraction?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, yeah, I remember I told you last week that I was starting to manifest little. So, I told you my routine, and I think the thing is you just have to believe in the fact that positive forces, or I don't even know what they're really called, but just positive vibes in general are going to come your direction if you also believe that you are a positive person and you're putting off positive vibes as well. It's just that's how it's going to go. So I'm pretty sure I believe in it, and it's something that I feel like would be fun to believe in, and I'm like 99.9% it's true. So yeah, it's fun.
So, like, does it lead to overconfidence sometimes?
I don't think overconfidence, but I actually made a list. Yesterday, I made a list on my notes app of the few things that have come true and happened because I believe the fact that I have been manifesting things, they have happened. So it's nothing crazy, but it is really cool to believe that you're in charge of the success that you want.
Like, how should one train their minds, to like get to work? Actually, exactly.
So, do you want just my productive morning routine?
Of course, your like your views on it,
Yeah.
because you
Okay.
can speak for everyone.
Yeah, everyone's different. So, um, I would say in general, if I'm really trying to get work done and I'm in a motivated and productive work space in my mind, then I will pretty much set my alarm for 8:30, even if I go to bed at like 1:30, which generally isn't the case anymore because it's just every day is so mundane in quarantine. So I feel like staying up late kind of has no point. So I will just put on a podcast before bed and um, I'll listen to that and I'll fall asleep every single time. and then I wake up at 8:30, and then usually I will get matcha and read a book, and the incentive to waking up for me is always drinking matcha because it's just my new favorite thing, and without it, I just don't wanna get up. So that's one way that I train myself to be productive, and then what I'll do is after I finish reading and after I shower, I will work on my video stuff for my own YouTube channel in the morning kind of, and then, I will go on my walk, and then after that, I will work on freelance stuff for other people or any internships I have at the moment. So that way I get 2 productive things done every day.
Like there is like a firm belief like you do not hit the snooze button, you know, and
You know, I don't even have a snooze button. I disabled it. Yeah.
okay, that's cool.
It's just no. I've never ever been someone who's like, "Yeah, I need extra sleep." I don't know. If I There's no way to
I
explain it. I just don't use a snooze button.
I use like multiple alarms for that, you know, like
I
every
can't
five
do that
minutes.
either. No, no. And I can't do okay, so there's this thing people do, and the guy I was dating like the past year, he did it, and it just didn't make sense to me. Where you can set multiple alarms. So say you have to wake up at 7:30, you set an alarm for 6:50 and then 7 and then 7:10, 7:20. I can't do that because if I wake up once, I'm just going to be awake. I don't like I feel like I would get the most sleep possible if I just stayed asleep throughout that entire time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, coming back, how do you like remove your fears to get on the camera? And like any tips is there?
I never
Once,
really was scared to start making videos, but I think there's a huge difference between being in a crowd of however many people are subscribed to me, like 1,200. Um, if I was in a crowd of that big of an amount of people, I'm sure I'd feel a bit nervous. But being in my room, the place that I've grown up in for the past 21 years, and looking through a camera, it's just not something that makes me nervous. It's just fun.
uh, so like talking about relationships here, what like would you like to talk like what relationships teach you, your past relationship or this relationship every time like you get engaged? And it,
Are you talking friends or like boyfriends?
yeah, boyfriends, not the other
And
one.
what specifically about them?
Sorry,
What specifically about them?
like what do you learn from them? Like every
Oh,
time you, yeah.
yeah. Okay. So there was this guy, I don't even want to count him. I went out with him for maybe 2 months in the very beginning of college, and I have no idea. It just was weird. So that I didn't really learn much from. um, but the guy I was just dating, it taught me a lot about how to be independent. And I think that's something that every single person needs to know before they are able to create um, a good and steady established relationship. Because even when I was watching, like, you know how YouTubers, whenever they break up, like David and Liza, and then someone who I like to watch, her name is Adeline Morin, she and her boyfriend of I think 5 years since high school, they broke up. And I think both of their reasonings were in some part you cannot be with someone who is only a half on their own. You have to both be whole on your own, and being with that person only can add to that happiness that you have for yourself. And I didn't have that going into this relationship, and I don't think he did either, as far as I'm aware. So that's something that I learned.
What do you advise like the I don't know like I should ask you this or not the other girls to like which guys to stay away from in relationship and you know so that they don't make mistakes.
I don't know that there are necessarily people to stay away from because already I'm someone who it's weird because I've only ever had real good relationships with people who I've been physically attracted to. And I know it can work the other way where you love someone's personality and then you become more attracted to them from there. But it's never happened that way for me specifically, just because when I like someone from appearance, I run after them and I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to chase the person I want. But I think um, you have to realize what types of people you go after, if they're the people who work for you, and if not, maybe try going after someone different.
uh, what do you think about the hookup culture?
Oh gosh, okay. I don't hook up.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah. It's there are so many components of it that don't make sense. Like if you're going to get that intimate with someone, personally, I would rather only be with someone who I'm in a committed and loving relationship with. I just don't understand, no matter how far you go in a hookup culture style relationship, I just don't get how you don't catch feelings for that person. It's never made sense to me, and I've never involved myself in it.
Do you think that there are negative effects to it due to the
Um,
hookup culture,
I
or
think
it's
it's
just sense?
I think to each their own because I have one of my best friends at school who I trust. She's really a good friend to me. She hooks up with a lot of different people, and then I'm someone who doesn't like to hook up with anyone. So I think as long as it's what's making you happy, you can do it. But for me, one of my main goals in a relationship, being in one, is if I'm going to be with someone, I want to be with them because I would like to one day end up with them in the future. I'm not just going to be with them for a fun fling. That's just not how it goes for me. So I think it's more on your perspective of what you want for yourself at that current time.
Like, what are some tips for guys and girls to go on their first date?
Ooh, first
According,
dates.
yeah,
Okay. I think I know this is so cliche, but just be yourself every time. But I also get that if people are nervous, that's another thing too. I remember when I was first dating the guy I was with, um, it was the first summer we were together, and we went with a couple people from his family to this little cafe. And for me, when I get nervous on a date when it has to do with food, I just can't eat. And it's nothing to do with like the eating thing I went through. It's just like, oh, there's so much stuff going on in my brain that I'm just not hungry at the time. So um, I'm not really sure exactly. Maybe just don't go for food on a first date if that's something that you're concerned about. But I like when guys put in effort. That's always fun. Um, Obviously, if people on here listening and they've watched my most recent, or not my most recent, but my video from my mental health series when it really kicked off, I'm someone who likes good morning calls and texts and stuff. So that could always make a girl's day if a guy wants to do that. But just being nice to a girl and showing her that you care is something that every girl appreciates.
tips for the girl on her first date.
Let's see. Wear something that you feel confident in, and it can be comfy, it can be dressy, but I mean, I feel like not a lot of people really get dressed up for a first date. I was watching one of Adeline's vlogs the other day, and she was talking about how she was going on a first date with this guy, but she didn't want to do too much makeup because that's the full package, and you don't get the full package unless you fully qualify and you're with that girl. So she only did a little bit of makeup. So if the guy doesn't deserve to see every bit of goodness that you have yet, and it's just the first date, do something like that still makes you look good, but isn't completely it because he has to work up to that. So that's what she was saying, and I feel like that's a little fun way to treat it. Um, and one thing that I know in this day and age, obviously our parents never had to worry about this, but if you're going out on a date with a guy from an app, whether it be Bumble or Tinder or something, I don't really go on either of those. But if you are going on a date from a dating website, make sure that your friends and perhaps your parents know your location and they're able to easily figure out where you are. Because sometimes it can be dangerous meeting up with someone who's a stranger. So that's something I've learned from even listening to podcasts on my own time that the dating culture now is very different.
Yeah. So talking about online dating, like, what are your views on your online dating? Like, of course, you
So
don't do it as a general.
yeah. Um, yeah, personally, I would rather meet someone in real life. And the only reason I think I would ever have, like, even on my phone right now, I don't have any online dating apps, but the only reason I would have it is if maybe one Friday night where I feel like all my friends are with their significant others, maybe I'll go on an event to also feel that piece of connection to a guy. But I would just so much rather meet someone in real life. But also, I have friends currently who are dating people. I think I have three friends from college who are dating people from dating apps, and they're all very long term, like 2, 3 year long relationships. So I believe it works. I just don't think it's for me.
There are some things that guys do, in the name of flirting. That's looks very creepy because they cross, and
Yeah.
similar is girls also, as I think similar for the girls as well. So like, uh, what should a guy do? What do you consider like good flirting and not creepy
Okay. Um,
for both sides?
I yeah. I was talking to my friend about this a couple weeks ago because there was this guy I was talking to on Hinge, but we've since stopped talking. And he would in almost every message, he would mention my name. And for me, even with the guy I was dating, he never mentioned my name once through a text. And I just thought it was so weird for someone to say, "Good morning, Jamie," or "How are you doing this afternoon, Jamie?" And I'm like, you don't need to be that formal with me. I know that you know my name. You don't have to address it the whole time. So I think that's just kind of a little weird for people to do. But then again, I was overhearing some other girl on social media saying she loves when guys do that. So I think it's just a personal preference. Um, I don't know. I feel like I don't have a lot of experience. Are you talking flirting, like actionable flirting in real life, or just flirting through text?
Um, both, a bit of both. Flirting via text. I think like it's bit more creepy for me. Like I think
Yeah.
many they go way cheesy.
Hmm.
Like while flirting text, and I while flirting like one on one, it's not much. Like according to me, uh one on one. What's your point on it?
So I think they're very different, and um, just from my personal experience, I don't think I've really ever flirted with anyone through text because I'm, again, not big on the whole dating app scene. And also, the guy I was dating before, he barely even knew how to flirt. It was just something that was like, oh, this girl likes me. Let's go out. And it was all fun and stuff. But we didn't flirt with each other. It was just kind of an instant connection between us. So I don't think I've really flirted with anyone in a while, but I think just when guys make it obvious that they're interested in you and they smile at you and they you can tell in their eyes that they like you, and the little small things, and they're interested to talk to you and they make time for you. Those things are fun.
Like in a relationship, how do you like make each other happy and like go a long way?
Okay, so that is something that I think I struggled with because whenever he wanted to hang out, even if I had stuff to do, I would drop my stuff for him. And that was, again, going along with fear of missing out, that I wanted to spend every second that I could with him. And that's not really possible when you're a college student. So that's something I had to learn and grow through. But something nice, like when a guy, actually, I remember this happening. This was, I think, first semester last year. He was coming home and our apartments were like 2 minutes away from each other. So he was coming back home and he didn't have any food. He knocked on my door at like 10:30 at night and he asked if I had any food for dinner because he was so hungry. And so I gave him my leftovers from some Chinese food place I ordered from with my friends the night before. And he was so thankful, and just seeing that smile on his face, like, oh, my girlfriend's making me food because she cares about me. Like, that's something nice. But also, initiating a date is always fun. And when a guy asks you out to lunch is always good. Um, and especially when they make an effort to introduce you to their friends is a really good sign that they like you.
I don't believe in this, but many people think that girls like bad boys. Is the appeal of bad boys. I don't think that because I have many friends like who like good guys.
Hmm.
So is it real and why is it? So if it is, according
That's
to
a
you.
very good question. So I can't speak full honesty in answering that question just because I'm not someone who likes bad boys. I'm someone who likes like the most clean shaven, innocent guy ever. But I honestly think it's just bad boys are hot and girls like hot guys, or most girls like hot guys. So they're attracted to the looks, but I don't think it's the personality because I feel like bad boys usually aren't the nicest, but they have the looks. So that's what the girls go for. So I've never been into that, but I get how people are attracted to it.
One last on relationships. What makes a guy attractive? like according to
What
you?
makes a guy attractive? Um, okay, this is gonna be a little funny answer, but if I am having one of my nights where I feel like I want some attention from a guy and I re-download dating apps because I have done that. I do have accounts. I just don't go on them because I don't like having the app on my phone. But if I swipe through a picture of a guy on Tinder or something, not saying that I will ever go on Tinder anytime soon, because no. But if I swipe through a guy with a picture of him fishing and the fish just out like that, I'm not going to go out with him because that's such a cliche thing. And I already forgot what the question was because I was so into answering and sharing that story. But that's just something that happens on every dating app that I will never understand.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Whenever you get irritated and your mind starts going off balance, how do you calm your mind?
How do I calm my mind?
You need, because you need to, if you need to go to work, like you need a really balanced mind, right?
Yeah.
So calm mind.
Are you
How do you bring
are
it?
you talking are you talking about just in general, or if you have anxiety and you actually don't feel like being productive?
Yeah, like if you don't feel like being productive and you know you,
Hmm.
you're like having anxiety and depressed. So what,
Yeah.
like how? Yeah.
Sometimes I'll call my friends to give me advice. I know my best friend Alyssa since high school. She now during quarantine she talks to me every day, which is really nice. But whenever I'm feeling a little bit down, I'll text her and I'll tell her what's happening. Like, oh, I really don't feel like doing this, and she'll motivate me. And then sometimes she'll text me saying, wow, I really don't feel like getting this essay done. And I'm like, no, you have to do it. You're graduating. And that was something that happened a little while ago, and she is graduating now, which is good. But yeah, definitely talking to my friends or going on a walk outside. If I want to avoid work and I need to get my mind off of something, I will for sure take a walk outside because getting my steps in is also something that's kind of important to me. Um, but also, depending on how important the work is, if it's maybe work for myself that I could potentially just put off a little bit, which I know I shouldn't do, but sometimes for your mental health, that's what's best. So if it's work like that, I will tell myself that I don't have to do it because I believe that taking care of your mental health is more important than forcing yourself to be productive because that's just going to lead to burnout. So, for example, today I wanted to wake up around 9:30 because I wanted to sleep in a little bit, but not too much. And then I just let myself sleep in and go on TikTok until 10:30. And I felt great because I didn't force myself to get up and I gave myself that mental health time that I needed.
And doing so, like you become much more happy, and the next time you become much more
I think
productive.
it's, yeah, because I had a meeting before this also, and I spent my entire morning. So today, little fun fact is the 10th anniversary of the day that One Direction was together, or that the band was created. So everyone's going all off on Twitter and YouTube and TikTok, all about that. So I was gonna have a productive day, and I was like, no, I don't want to. I want to listen to all the old One Direction songs again. So I did that, and as soon as I got into that productivity mind or state of mind, I was so much happier. Like, wow, I spent the morning doing something I really want to do. Now I can focus on being productive.
One more question popped out in my mind, like when you text a guy first, like
Hmm.
you know, he doesn't
Hmm.
text you back. Does it
Mm.
mess with it?
If you text a guy and he doesn't text you back, I think he just doesn't like you, to be flat out honest. Because I was listening to a podcast last month and they were talking about that. And the guy said if if he likes someone, he will text them back. So yeah, I don't think girls should overthink that.
Are you into gaming and stuff?
So I really like Sims, but other than that, I'm not into like I don't know. Is it
Yeah,
Xbox or PS4 or something like that?
Sims was one of my favorite games. Like when I was a child, you know,
Hmm.
that
I could talk
bloody
about
kid.
Sims for days.
Okay, we'll have some separate session for that someday. Like I playing like something that story mode. I really love that. The earlier versions of Sims. Okay, so do you have Twitch account?
I think I do. Yeah,
Okay,
I don't use it, but I think I have an account.
okay. uh, so like coming to like sustainability,
Mhm.
how can one achieve zero waste in like everything they do?
Okay. It's a very hard thing to do when you're first getting into it. So my thing is it's also kind of the same as going vegetarian or something. So if you want to switch something small in your habit. I don't want to say diet because zero waste isn't like it's about every single thing in your life. It's not just about your diet. But if we're comparing it to being vegetarian or something like that, you have to take it step by step and not just transform everything all at once because then it might get a little overwhelming and oh, one day you miss having meat, so you're going to go back to it. So
Yeah.
I think it's important to inspect everything that you have in your life. So this is what I did. I pulled out my shower caddy because I went zero waste my sophomore year in college and I was like, oh great, there's so much plastic in here. So as soon as I finished up using my shampoo bottle and my conditioner bottle, I went to shampoo and conditioner bars, and that goes along with pretty much everything I had in my life that was plastic. As soon as there was no longer a use for it or it ran out of the product, I would find a different way to get that product, and then slowly but surely I had a bunch of zero waste things just in my area because I made an effort to do it like that.
That's really nice to hear. Do you know Omeggle?
Oh yeah, I have Omegle.
Like, so what is one of the like most funniest things that ever happened on Omeggle
Hmm.
for you?
It's hard to think because I went on a bunch when I was younger, but I've only gone on I think twice now. Um, but there was this guy who was talking to me about David Dobrik the last time I made a video about Omegle for my YouTube channel, so that was cool. And I think it's just really cool to get matched up with random people and have a full-on conversation with them, even though you don't know them. It shows that communication's still happening. So that's something cool that I found out about it.
Okay, yeah. I think like Omeggle is like really fun because
Hmm.
you don't know
Yeah,
anyone
it can
and
be fun
just
there.
you keep talking and
Exactly.
end up having
Although
like
there
pretty
was
good.
this might have been the answer to your question. So there was one time when I was filming that Omegle video for my channel, and I said hi to, I don't remember if it was a girl or a guy, but I said hi to someone, and they were like, "Oh, I have already talked to you. I'm gonna click next," and I didn't even remember talking to them. So I don't know what that was about, but they did not want to talk to me.
Okay, that's pretty fun. So like, what do you think about the TikTok? All the TikTok revelation. Do you have TikTok account?
Yeah, I have TikTok. So it's kind of a little roller coaster for me because when TikTok was first a thing, I didn't want to have any part in it because I was like, oh, this is just another thing for middle schoolers and high schoolers, and I'm 21 in college. I don't need to be on TikTok. And then quarantine came around, and also the fact that you could blow up on TikTok was really relevant. So I started making videos, but now I feel like I would overwork myself if I tried to make really good TikTok videos and really good YouTube videos. So I'm mostly concentrating just on YouTube right now. And then for TikTok, the For You page is it has a very good algorithm and it's curated specifically for what they think you'll like. So, of course, my For You page keeps me occupied for like 3 hours straight. So that is the main reason that I go on TikTok nowadays in order to watch TikToks from people who I follow or to just go on TikTok and watch from my For You page. Very addicting.
Okay, yeah. Even my like, I showed my dad TikTok in this during this quarantine, and is on TikTok every time.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's really addicting because the videos are so short. Sometimes you watch
yeah.
one 3 times through if it's so good, and then you give it a like, and then you just keep scrolling.
And suddenly you look at the clock, and it's like 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember my friend from school, she told me about TikTok and she wasn't the one who broke the news to me that TikTok was a thing, but she told me that she had it and it was a really good way to occupy your time during quarantine. So I'm like, all right, maybe one day I will download it. And then I downloaded it and I was like, no, I've spent like 2 hours straight through on TikTok. And yeah, it definitely takes up your time, but it's worth it.
Yeah. So like, coming to the end, like, what are your philosophies in life, and how would you like want your ideal life to be? You know?
Okay. So for probably like 5 years now, I've wanted to move to California after I graduate. So I would really like to do that if Corona can chill for a long time. That'd be nice. And then I think just finding my passion, whether it be working for another YouTuber, that would be super cool. Like I know Haley Pham, one of my YouTubers that I watch, she has she doesn't have a huge group of people working for her, but she does have people who edit her videos, and so does Leisha Marie, who's also in that lifestyle genre. So if I could be that for someone else, that'd be a cool job. But yeah, just trying to move, figuring out who I am, and getting my life together from there. That'd be cool.
Okay, so like you're pretty cool also. So thank you for coming again to my
Yeah, thank you for
podcast.
having me.
Yeah, you're really cool. I really like the conversation. You're really frank, really to the point, and just love it. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
You're driving me crazy, driving me crazy, driving me crazy. In a minute, your body's made, your body's made.